So let me start recording. Right, we started why we need data JPA. So we're gonna get SQL interoperability, right? And it's going to be the repository. So this is the marker interface. I told you why it is a marker interface, because we have two paradigms, right? In one is non-reactive and another one is a reactive. So I can call blocking and non-blocking. So non-reactive is can called as blocking. I will tell you why it is blocking when we are discussing about reactive program. So the blocking starts from CRUD repository, paging and sorting, and from there we have multiple implementations. For RDBMS, we use JPA repository, and for MongoDB, we use Mongo repository. For Cassandra, we have Cassandra repository, like that. So we are playing with RDBMS. That's why we are using JPA repository, right? So that's why we are using JPA repository. So now let's go. Yeah, and we also discussed what is find by methodology. If it is not Spring Native application, then we need to do this kind of configuration to enable data JPA. As we are using Spring Boot, we no need to do any extra configuration. It will be automatically enabled. Okay. And yeah, we saw one example with the default method support, right? Data JPA CRUD repository, right? So the default support. And the next thing is we understood what is the requirement of find by method naming convention, right? So when we would like to fetch the data, right? When we would like to fetch the data which is not by primary key, then we will write our own customized find by mechanism. So most of the things like 40 to 50% of the project requirement can be done by using this find by. But sometimes we need some complicated scenarios, whatever we saw yesterday, right? Joins or some optional column, right? So anything. So that time we need to write our own query. So if it is native SQL, then it is an SQL query. But in data JPA, we don't. I mean, we no need to use SQL. You can convert that SQL into JPQL, right? So Java Persistence Query Language. So that is good, because that the JPQL query you can execute on any databases, right? So the main intention of using data JPA is SQL interoperability. So if you write native queries, then um, your application becomes SQL dependent. So let's not do that. Let's write JPQL queries, and we saw one example how to convert SQL query into JPQL. Okay, and we executed some complicated example as a standalone model. Yesterday we saw that, right? So we executed one example as a standalone model, but that is not is the case, right? So we would like to integrate that with our mobile service. So right now in our mobile service, we are getting the data from uh, a hard coded, right? So we are getting that from an hard coded model, but that is not the case. Actually, we should get it from actual database, right? So let's integrate database for our mobile service. So let's add the data JPA starter. So it's going to be data -JPA. Okay, and another one is database dependent jar, right? So that is MySQL jar, and that version will vary from database version to version. So be very careful while adding this dependency. You should give a proper version. Yeah. Okay, so POM dependencies are added in the pom.xml file. Yeah. Next, we need to give database details, right? Where it is running, what is the username, what is the password, so that we can give it in the application.properties file. So let's go to our last example, and we can copy paste those details, right? We can just simply copy paste those details. So the data source details we need to give. Yes. Okay, and some Hibernate properties, right? Some Hibernate properties. Okay, one more property is there. Okay, this one, right? DDL auto, we will discuss what is DDL auto later. Okay, we will discuss that later. Okay, so with this we are done with the configuration, right? So with this we are done with the configuration. Our application now it will connect it to MySQL, right? MySQL, which is running on my local. Okay, so now let's go to our service class. Whatever you see that hard coded data, let's remove that, right? So that is not our intention. Let's remove that hard coded data. We should get the actual live data, right? The actual live data. So what should we do? We should go to our application and write some repository to connect it to the MySQL database, right? So, but before that, let's write some model class, right? Mobile.java as a model class, right? So let's remove all this XML root element and all. Okay, so let's remove this all the setters, getters, right? It's supposed to be a simple POJO, right? So let's add Lombac data annotation, right? Lombac data annotation. I think we have not added Lombac dependency, right? Let's copy paste that from the country service. No more setters, getters writing going forward. It should be at data at builder annotations, right? It should be at data at builder annotations. So let's add this in the form.xml. Yes. So now let's do at data. Come on. It will take a while to add the dependency. Yes. So I think now the dependency is added. Yeah, now let's add the Lombac at data annotation. Okay. So let's save some data into the database. Let's save some data into the database. As per the discussion, right? Yesterday's discussion. So our model should have these many properties, right? One is the ID, which is auto-generated. First, let's convert this into entity class. Okay. Let's give table name as let's mark it as entity, and we already discussed at ID is mandatory, right? At ID is mandatory, and let it get generate, right, automatically, right? So it generated and I think strategy. Let me check what is the exact annotation. I forgot that. I think it should be at generated and strategy equals to something. Which what is the exact annotation? At the generated value. Sorry, it's not at generated. It's at generated value. And some strategy how to use. For this, you must specify generation type dot identity, right? So because this is for MySQL, right? So identity is going to be supported by MySQL. So ID will automatically generated by the database. So in the database, we call that as auto increment. So MySQL, we call that as auto increment. Okay, it's done. So next property is name. Yes, name we specified. And the next property is price. And we already discussed it's supposed to be a wrapper class, right? It's supposed to be a wrapper class, not primitive, right? So let's give that. Okay. Yes. So let the column name be price as is, and the next type is status, but I don't want to define that as string. Let's define status as enum, right? Status as enum. So let's create one enum called status. So create class. Okay, let it be class. Later we will change it to enum. Okay, and this is supposed to be in the model package. Yes. Okay, so let's change class to enum now. Okay. Okay, one is available, and the next one is not. Okay, one is available, and the next one is not available. Let's give some number to this enums. Okay, let's give some number. So available means 0. Not available means 1. So as we added numbers, you should provide some number constructor. Okay. So number constructor, private int value. Yeah, you just look into this later. You can practice. Okay. Int value. Assign the value, right? So while creating this enum, we would be passing some value. That is what is the intention. So this dot value equals to value. Okay, this dot value equals to value.
So
Yes.
let's
Yeah.
literally
Let's generate one getter. Only getter, not setter.
Nule episode.
You're trying. Is anybody trying to say something? Hello. Any doubts? Okay. Fine.
No, you can continue to it.
Yeah. So we have two types of status, right? Available and not available. Yeah, let's create one more column called LOB. Okay, loss of sorry, line of business, not loss of business. Okay, let's create the enum, right? So LOB, and give the column name as LOB, or if you would like to give the full name line of business. Okay, let's create this enum also. So create class. Later we will change it to enum. Yes, so enum. And here let's add three modes of business. One is online, so which means the value is 0, and the next one is retail, okay, which is 1, and last but not least is indirect, right? So indirect, so it's 2. Yeah. Let's write the same story, right? So integer parameterized constructor and assign some value. So private int value, and just write some constructor public LOB, which takes integer type, right? Yeah, and just do this dot value equals to value, and let's let's return the value public int get value, and just return this dot value. Okay, remove this 0. There we go. What is the problem? Illegal modifier, only private is permitted. I think public is not enough. Okay, fine. Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, so there are two columns, status and LOB. Next, let's add some country code. Let's add some country code, private string. So country code, right? Country code, and let's create this column differently in the database. So when the column name and the property name both are not matching, then you should we should use this at column, and this column is going to be country hyphen code, country hyphen code, and some date. Let's give private. So let's use local date, which is Java 8. Okay, Java 8 future. So let's use that, and let's give publication text, right? So publication text. Yes, there we go. Okay, so these are the columns our table is going to have. I think there is already one table is present in the database. Let's delete that and let's create freshly. Okay, so let the MySQL get open. Okay, yes. So this is what our entity class. What's up? Okay. So there is one table already created. Let's delete and freshly create, right? So Drop table, so review SQL, so drop table, yes, done. The table got deleted. Fine. Okay, we will freshly insert the data. We will freshly create the table and freshly insert the data. Okay. Yes. So this is what is our model class. Now let's write one repository, right? So let's write one repository class. It's not class actually, it is interface. Okay, we will change it later. Let's give the name as mobile repository. Okay, mobile repository. It's not class, it is interface, and which is child of JPA repository. Right, so JPA repository, and the T is a mobile, right? So T is a mobile, and ID is a type of integer, right? So ID is a type of integer. So just do Control Shift O, yeah, right? So you don't need to write any extra methods, right? And let's move this into a package called the repository, right? So let's move this. Done. Okay. So we are done with writing model class. We are done with writing a repository class. Everything is done, right? Yes. So now let's do the changes in our service class. So instead of playing with this, right? Instead of playing with this list mobile, let's do the repository integrations, right? So let's do auto while private mobile repository. Okay, so mobile repository, and when you would like to get all mobiles, just call mobile repository dot find all method. Yes. Yeah. So when you would like to get a particular mobile by ID, then we don't need to do all this blah 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 code. Just simply return mobile repository dot find by ID and pass the ID. Right? Find by ID and pass the ID. Done. Okay. And when we would like to save the mobile, just to no need to return anything. So you can just simply call mobile repository dot save entity. Entity is a mobile, right? So yes. To update mobile, it's same. So we no need to like save will automatically take care about updating and saving, right? So we should return the saved mobile, the save return. Okay, we are done. This is a mobile ID, not ID. Okay, fine. Okay, so we are done with repository integration. I think it's going to return optional. It's going to return optional. So let's do one thing, right? So let's get optional of mobile. Okay, so mobile, if mobile is not present, right? So just do Control Shift O. Okay, if mobile is not present, if mobile is not present, or else if mobile present, right? If mobile dot is present, then return mobile, right? So return mobile. If there is no mobile present, sorry, mobile dot get. It's like mobile dot get. Yeah. So if that if condition not satisfied, then throw new. I think we wrote some exception, right? Mobile not found exception. So error code is some 10,001 and some message, right? So some meaningful message saying that okay, mobile not found. Okay, mobile not found with given mobile ID. Okay, and just attach that mobile ID. Okay. So instead of doing this if condition, what we can do the method chaining here. Let's remove this code. Okay. You can directly call is present if is present, or else um, yeah, dot
Dot is it.
yeah. So let's directly, oh, I think we should assign, right? So yeah, otherwise we need to call find by id one more time. That is not good practice, right? I think there is a method called if present. Let me check what it will do. If present, can we able to return? No, it's a consumer. It consumes. It won't return anything. Okay, so that is correct. Whatever we did is correct. Okay, he is present, then return. Okay, he is present, then return. Fine. If it is not present, then throw the exception, right? So if it is present, then it's fine. If it is not present, then throw the exception. Then we are good, right? So we are done with integration. Why there are some errors? No errors. Just save it. Just to control shift go. Let's remove unused imports. Okay. Let's remove unused imports. So it's done, right? So we are done with integrating mobile repository. We are done with integrating mobile repository. Okay, so let's discuss about one small concept. Okay, so our mobile service is fully integrated, right? So it has database integration with the data JPA. Okay, we wrote the model class also. So one important thing what I would like to tell you is auto DDL, right? So whatever is missing here. So there is a property called auto DDL. So auto hyphen DDL. I think let's copy paste. Okay, that property DDL auto. Sorry, it's not auto DDL. It's a DDL auto. Okay. So yeah. So this plays a very important role. So whenever you are defining this, okay, actually it takes 4 types of values, right? One is a none. I think five parameters, right? None. So which means your Hibernate will not do anything, right? So your Hibernate will not do any operations with respect to your table. Okay, so if table is there, it will try to insert the data and play with the table. If table is not there, then it will throw exception if you mark it as none, right? So none means there are no DDL operations are going to be performed. Okay, so I hope you know, right, what is DDL? Create table, drop table, right? Create table, drop table. Okay, and for production it should be none. For production it should be none. It's okay, drop and create good for testing, but it's for production it's not suitable. Okay, so none means it won't do any changes. So update means, okay, update means if table is not there, it will try to create. Okay, if table is not there, it will try to create the table. For example, now we deleted the mobile table, right? So there is no table called mobile. So for the first time, when we run this application, there is one create statement is going to be executed, right? Create statement is going to be executed just because of this update. So somebody pinged on the chart. Fine. Yeah, so DDL that auto update means it will be updated. The table is there, it won't create. If it is not there, it will create. And if is there any column newly added, it will execute alter, right? So update means any changes required, it will take care. If no changes required, it won't do anything, right? Okay. So that is what is update meant to be. And we have one more thing called create drop. Okay, don't never ever add this. If you do create drop before your application is shutting down, it will drop all the tables. Okay, never do that. Okay, so don't use create drop. Even it's like people say for testing, use it. Actually, you forget that option itself is there. Okay, it's high risky option. Don't ever delete any tables in any environment. It can be a dev or it can be a SIT, it can be production. Okay, in the real time, this is a kind of dangerous attribute, create drop. Okay, so don't use. If you would like to use, just use none. If you would like to use, just use update. Okay, validate means it validates the schema. If is there any errors, it will throw exception. Okay, so it won't do any changes. If any changes found, it will throw exception. So validate, it's fine. None is fine. Mostly you can go till update level. But don't use any one of these. Mostly use none or validate. If some cases, right, use update. Okay, so for us we need to create the table. That's why we are using update. So for the first time, as the table is not present in the database, it will create the table. But when we run the second time, so it will check whether the table is there or not. If table is there, it will ignore about creating, and it will validate the schema also. If is there any new column added in the entity class, those changes will be automatically taken care into database. Okay, but this will work only from Java to table. If you add new column in the table and you expect that Java will update it, no, that won't happen. Okay, it is like Java to SQL, it will do the changes, but SQL to Java it won't take, right? So if you go and add any new column in the table and you are expecting DDL to auto to add some parameter in the mobile dot Java, so that won't happen. It's like if you add any column in here and you are expecting SQL to be updated, that happens. But if you do reverse, right, SQL, you add a new column in the SQL and expecting Java to update it, that won't be happen, right? So that is what is DDL to auto. So we are going to use update. Okay, never use create drop. That is high risk thing. Okay, don't play with database tables. Okay, so if you don't like to do from Java, that is good. Just use none. Okay, default it is none. Default is none. Anyway, whether you are specifying or not specifying, but if you specify, use the proper value. Okay, use the proper value. Okay. So now the table will be created automatically when we run our application. Table will be created automatically, and that, for example, if we call save, right? For example, if we call save mobile, the data will be inserted, right? So we are calling save method internally. We are calling save method. Then the data will be inserted automatically into mobile table. So let's start the application. Uh, let's go to mobile service application. Right click. So let's remove one filter. For us, one filter is fine. Okay, one filter is fine. Let's remove that. Okay, I think there are two filters we wrote, right? So let's delete one. Okay, let's delete one. Okay, some import statement would be missing. Just to control shift O, then no errors. Okay, right click, run as Java application. Select all. Okay, yeah. So it is connected to the database. Okay, it will execute that create syntax. What's up? Let's go to database and refresh the schema. Check. The table is not created, so somehow our content is not working, but it started, right? It's connected to the database and it started. Um, so I do see the kind of mistake what I did is, while writing the repository, I thought you would have been highlighting that. Okay, so I didn't add a repository. Okay, so let's add this. Let's add this. You see, still it is not creating a table. Mobile.java entity data class ID perfect. Um, MySQL it's connected. Oh, I gave none, right? So that's why it is not creating, right? So none means it won't perform any changes, right? It won't perform any changes. Let's do update this to update, right? So let's just change it to update. Now you see the create table syntax, right? So some query table creation exception. Create table mobile ID integer not null auto increment core varchar some kind of problem. What is the 255 integer, some syntactical problem. via JDBC. Fine. Primary key. What is this query SQL exception we got? You have an error. Check the manual that server version for varchar 255 publication ID publication. So there is some problem with our model class, right? So that's fine. Mm, I think we should specify the varchar length with the version whatever I'm using in my MySQL. Okay, so it's version related issue. So there is some problem with the varchar size. Okay, so let me check the exception for one more time. So so the query is generated properly. So if I just copy paste this into MySQL, I should get the same exception because that is an SQL exception. If I just try to run this, right? So there is some problem. You have an error in the SQL that price integer something is there. So okay, I think hyphen is not allowed. Okay, in the SQL, hyphen is not allowed. That is what is the problem. So let's go and remove the hyphen and put underscore. Okay, column name hyphen is not allowed. That is what is the syntactical problem. So now, yeah. So let's remove this and just save the file. Now you see the table should be generated automatically. So somewhere it prints create table, Control F, create. Yeah, create table, mobile. So ID is the primary key is auto ID and it's an auto increment, right? I told, right? So when we give identity in database, it's a term called auto increment, and the primary key is ID, right? So just go to database and refresh the database. You see that, yeah, mobile table is created with all these columns, right? So that is the problem was hyphen, right? So we gave in column name hyphen. So in MySQL, hyphen is not allowed. Maybe in some other databases it was working fine, but in MySQL, in column name, hyphen was not allowed. That's why we got query exception. Okay, that SQL exception. Fine. So now the table is created. Now let's go to Postman and try to save the data, right? So try to save the data. Okay, let's close all these requests. So let's open a new request. So it's going to be HTTP localhost 8080 MSK mobiles, right? MSK mobiles. Yeah. So if you send this, no table is present, no data is present in the table, so you will get exception, right? So net, yeah. So mobile not found with the given mobile name. Yes, that's true because no data is present in the table. So if I just try to get all the mobiles, you see empty arrays, right? So optional parameter price is, I think, cannot be translated into null. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So we added a request param. That is what is the problem. Yeah, later we will take care about it. Okay. Yes. Now let's do one thing. We'll do one thing. One is this one. There it is. We'll save the data. Okay. Let's go to post method. Let's go to Postman and change the request to post and save the data. Okay. So JSON. Yeah, fine. So let's frame the request JSON. Okay. So ID we no need to send because it's an auto increment. So let's send name. So the first parameter is name. Yeah, it's going to be Samsung mobile. Okay. And the next column is price, and it's 10,000. Okay. And the next column is status, and yeah, let's give available. Okay. Next column is next property is LOB, and it's going to be online. Okay, online. Yeah, the country code. Let's give a property called country code. I think yeah, comma. So it's going to be property name is going to be country code, and here we should give the country code. So it's made by South Korea. Let's give KOR, right? So South Korea. Yeah. So we don't send the publication date when we save, when we insert the data into the database, that time we will give the default value, the date as today date, right? Publication date as today date. So let's go to service class and do the change first. Where is the service? Yeah, mobile service. So when we save the data, okay, so best just before saving the data, set publication date as local date dot now, right? Today date we will save it. Just save these changes, right? Yeah, so no create statement this time because already the table is created. Okay, it won't perform any changes now. We are good. So now let's go to the postman and send the request, right? So the data should be saved into the database. So let's click save. There we go. We got 201 created, right? 201 is created. Now let's go to the database and execute. Select start from mobile. Okay, select start from mobile and execute query. So there is one row will be fetching, right? So yeah, so ID, country code, LOB, name, price, publication date, and status, right? So these are the values, right? So enum values we give. 0 means status, 0 means available, LOB 0 means online, right? So let's try to fetch the data, right? So let's try to fetch the data and check whether the data is coming back or not. So let's give /1. Send, you see that the data will be coming back. Yes, right. The date and ID are auto populated, so we no need to send those two details. Okay, fine. Yeah. So let's quickly insert the remaining data. So it's a Samsung, price is 10,000, but the status is not available. It's not available, and the line of business is retail. The same country code, Korea. So fine. Let's send. Yeah, one more row will be inserted. Fine. Let's quickly insert the remaining data. One more Samsung mobile. The price is 15,000, and the mode of sale is it's not available, and its mode of sale is indirect, right? So the mode of sale is indirect. Sorry, it's not available. The LOB is indirect, and again Korea. So just send okay. One more model is available. Price is 20,000. It's available on retail. So let's change the price 15,000 to 20,000. But it's the stack is available. Okay, and it's going to be retail, right? So the line of business is retail, and again it's Korea made phone. So yeah, we save. So just go to the database and see whether the data is properly inserting or not. You see there are 4 rows are inserted, right? So that's fine. Now let's continue. So 4 Samsung mobiles. Now let's change the mobile model. MI. Yes. And its price is 15,000. It's available. The mode of sale is indirect, and it's made by China, right? So CHN. Yeah. Just click on send. So one more way inserted. MI, its price is 10,000. Okay, so price is 10,000, and it's not available. And again, I think the mode of sale is indirect. Yes, country is China. Yeah, right. So now let's go to Nokia. Right. So let's insert some Nokia data. So price is 20,000, and it's available online. So it's available, and it's made by Vietnam, right? So VNM, right? Yeah. So now let's go to one more model where the price is 50,000, 15,000, sorry, 15, and it's available, and the mode of sale is indirect, right? So let's give indirect. Yes, it's again made by Nokia. So let's go to the last one, Honor. It's the 20,000. One is 20,000. Okay, and it's not available. The stock is not available, but after some times the stock will come back and we will update that. Okay, so at this point of time the stock is now available, but maybe in the next couple of days we will sell them on the retail, and it's made in India. So let's do India. Okay, so we have inserted one more row. Let's quickly change, right? So it's not available. Even it's available, it's supposed to be sell in indirect store also, but at this point of time the stack is not available. That's why we are marking is stack. So once the stack is available, we will update that, right? We will update that to stack available, not available to available. So it's going to be, but at this point of time, 15,000 rupees retail, right? The 15,000 rupees model in retail store it is available. Even 10,000 rupees retail, 10,000 rupees retail mode is available, right? So 10,000 rupees retail mode is available. So just save this data. Okay. So now this data is inserted. Yes. Why we are inserting this kind of data? Because we wanted to do some filtering. So that's why we are inserting this random data. So there are around 12 lines, right? 12 rows inserted into the database. Fine. Right. So different line of businesses, different statuses, different names, different prices, different country codes, right? So we inserted some good data into the database. Fine. So let's do some changes. Our get all mobiles is not working. So let's go to that and see why it's not working, right? So when there is no data is coming from the front end, so we are so it's throwing an exception, right? So it cannot be able to convert that null into zero, right? So null into zero. So let's change this to integer for now. Save the code. Let's get all the mobiles. Let's go to Postman and call get method. Don't pass any ID. Now you see that, okay, now all the data is coming properly, right? So there are two mobiles, so 12 mobiles are inserted, so all the data is coming fine, right? So our application is working as expected. So now we are able to save the data, we are able to retrieve the data, which is live data, which is coming from the database, right? Which is coming from the database. Now let's try to implement filters, right? So just focus only on the filter concept. Okay, filter concept. So anyway, let's try one find by methodology, right? Find by. So for example, right now we have only one API which gives by mobile ID, right? Which gives by mobile ID. Yes, but let's try to implement one more API by name, right? Not by ID. Let's fetch the data by name also. So let's quickly write a method called get mapping. Yes, and okay, let's take name, mobile name as input. It's a mandatory, right? For the searching, this is the mandatory parameters. That's why we are using path variable. So you're gonna return public list of mobile. We need to change this return type also. So in the country service, what we are returning? We are returning a single entity response, right? So the same changes has to be done here. Okay, so we need to return a single entity response. So it's not like individual entity, it's supposed to be a single entity. Fine, we will do that later. So for now, let's complete this, right? So get mobiles by name. So there are multiple mobiles can present with the same name, so that's why we are okay. So that's why we are giving return type as list, right? So yeah, we are done with the method signature. Yeah, let's get this path variable, get path variable, and we'll just take that name. Okay, mobile name, fine. Assign it to string name, and let's call the method, right? So return mobile, okay, mobile service dot, let's use the same method naming convention, right? Get mobile by name and pass the name. So this method was not written in the mobile service, that's why this error is coming. So just put mouse on it, you will get intelligence, right? So just create a method, right? So let's create one more method and call mobile repository, right? So this is not a primary key. So find by mobile name is not available, right? So find by mobile name, find by name is not available. So let's change that to find by name, right? Find by name and pass this name as input parameter, right? Find by name. So this method is not there. So let's put mouse on it. It will show intelligence, right? Create, yeah, method. Yeah, so it's So we created a new method in the repository. We created a new method in the service class, right? Yeah. So now let's go to Postman and call this method, right? So let's pass the mobile name. So we have mobile by ID, but name is not there. So let's send now name, right? So we wrote that method now. So let's call that. Now you are passing Samsung. So you will get only Samsung data, right? Only Samsung. But this is one way of fetching the data. But sometimes some people will come and ask, I want price, right? Price by, I want to see the mobiles whose price is 10,000, right? Whose price is 10,000. So you will, what you will do, you will copy paste this, fine. You just change this to, instead of mobile name, you change this to mobile price. And this is going to be some integer, and this is going to be changed to price, and change the parameter name also price. And yeah, so we need to write one more method, new method, right? So mobile name, get mobiles by price, and pass this price. Okay, so this method is not available in the service class. That's why we are getting error. Just put mouse on it, and you will get intelligence create method. Just click on it. This method will be created. Now let's call mobile repository dot get find by price, right? Find by price and pass the price. Okay, fine. So this method also not available. Just go ahead and create that. Okay. Yes. So let's go ahead and test this. Let's send the price, right? So by name, it's working. Oh, I think get mapping mobile by price. Okay. It's some integer parameter, right? So get mobile by price. I think some kind of conflict is coming just because of this mapping. Okay. Uh, conflict is coming. Public void list controller get mobile by name, mobile by price. So even though it is integer, it is not working out. So we should change the URL pattern, right? So by price, something like that, you should add. So while you are calling the price, you should change like by price, and you pass the price, right? So by price and pass 10,000. You get all the mobiles whose price is 10,000. So MI 10,000, Honor 10,000, right? So all mobiles which are having 10,000 price, those are coming. But all of a sudden, some more person will come. I want to see Samsung mobiles whose price is 10,000. Then you will write one more method. You take name and price, and you call that method, right? And all of a sudden tomorrow one person says, come and says that I want to see all available mobiles. You write one more method. And like one day one person came and said, I want to see all online mobiles, right? I don't want to go to any store, any third party vendor. I want to place an order online. So I want to see all mobiles which are available on online. So every time when there is a new search mechanism comes, you are implementing a new method. That is not a good solution, right? So it's supposed to be a one method, should take care about all filters, right? Which should take care about all filters. So let's remove this code. This is not a good practice. Let's not do this, right? Let's not do this. Let's remove those two methods also from service, right? And let's remove those two methods from repository. Fine. So how can we do that? Then how can we achieve that, right? So that is what we discussed yesterday. So in your controller, you should take all the request parameters. Yes, we should take all the request parameters and pass these parameters as it is, right? So let's pass these parameters, optional parameters, as it is to service. Yes, if it is coming, the value will go. If it is not coming, then null value will be sending back to the service. Yes. So right at this point of time, our service class get all mobiles won't take the parameters. Let's change the method, right? So let's change the method signature to accept all these parameters, right? And let's pass these parameters to repository. Okay. Find all. Yes. So there is a default find all method won't take all these methods. So we should write a new method, right? So we should write a new method called find all, which takes these parameters, right? Create a method. Yes. Okay. Now we should use our yesterday's query technique, right? Yesterday's query technique to handle this scenario. Let's not waste time to type that query. Let's go to mobile repository, copy that query snippet, and put it here. Okay. So make sure the parameters are matching. Name, price, status, LOB, LOB. Just do the import of at query. Okay, at query. So our single method, get mobiles method, is can able to handle all these filters, right? So you pass whatever filter, that single method will take care about it. Now let's go to our service and just do mobiles. You get all mobiles. If you don't send any filter, fine. You get all 12 mobiles. I think it's what's up. Let's stop.
Connection issues not started.
Might be some exception would have occurred. That's fine. While starting the application, there might be some exception. That's why it would have been throwing that error, or else might be not refreshed properly. Okay, yeah. So mobile is mobiles is not member, right? So in query, I think we are using mobiles, but actual table name is mobile. So now let's save it again. So there is some startup problem. That's why the application was not started. Now let's do the changes and save that and start the application. Okay, it's done, right? It's started. Now let's go and send the request. Get all 12 mobiles, fine. If you would like to do name by search, right? Name by filter. So name is equal to Samsung. Then you should get all the data which is related to Samsung, right? You got only Samsung data. You would like to get the price whose range is 10,000, then send the 10,000. You'll get only whose price is 10,000, right? If you would like to see online selling mobiles, then you can send LOB equals to online. You will get yeah, I got the problem. I told right yesterday, we're supposed to send not string, we're supposed to send enum type, right? Yes, so let's do those changes, right? So our string won't be supported by the query. So we should change this to enum type, right? So let's go to controller. So here we are getting the strings, but let's not do the changes in controller. Let's do the changes in service, right? So let's do the changes in service. So what we will do, let's convert this status into an enum. So the easiest way is status, right? Enum status. Where is the status? Where is our status? Yeah, here is our status dot value of, okay. Uh, yeah, value of, pass that string whatever you are getting from the front end. Okay, you just pass that as an argument. Okay, the same concept is applicable for LOB also. Let's convert LOB string, right? LOB string to LOB enum, but this is not proper. We should do proper validations and all. If you send wrong value, it will throw an exception. So we should do validations, but anyway, we will do that later. Okay, so for now, let's assume we are sending the correct value. Okay, so let's do the changes in repository also, right? So here we are sending enum types, but in the repository, it is string type. So that's why that error came. So if you just change this to status, so it should be our status. And if you just change this to LOB, now whatever error you are seeing in the service will be moved away, right? So that's what we need to do. But this is not the full-fledged code. We should do a proper validation before converting it. If you send wrong value, you will get exception, right? Enum exception. So that is not is the case. Now the application is started. So let's go to Postman and send LOB online. You will get only the mobiles whose name is null. What's happening? Required false. Post processing. Post processing exception came, null pointer exception. Oh, got it. Yeah. So without checking null check, we are trying to convert. Okay. So let's do like this, right? So the problem is we should check the null, right? Null. If it is not null, then only we should create. If it is null, we should send as it is, right? So if status is null, double equals to null, then send null as null to dv, right? Don't convert that. Okay. So let's apply the same stuff for LOB also. If there is no data coming in the request, let's not convert that. Okay. So LOB equals to, so LOB, it's enum LOB. Let's do change it to enum LOB, and it should be converted from LOB dot value of LOB. Okay. So if the value is not coming, then don't do conversion. Okay. So if it is coming, then convert and send it. So semicolons are missing. That's why this error came. Just do the same. Fine. Now send the request. Okay. You get only the mobiles which are available online. So you send retail. Okay. So don't send rank value. It will throw exception. Okay. You get all the mobiles which are like retail, right? Retail. So you can send multiple filters also, and so where it is, where the mobile is available in retail store and the price is 10,000. Yes, you can do multiple filters. You can apply multiple filters, no doubt. Okay, no doubt. So there are okay, 1,000 I sent. I supposed to send 10,000. You get, right. So mobile which is available retail and price is 10,000. Price is 10,000. So if you would like to apply one more filter, you would like to get a mobile of type Samsung mobile. Okay, Samsung mobile, and where it is available on retail store with price 10,000, you will get that exact result which is matching to these filters, right? Matching to these filters, and you can apply the status filter also, right? So the status available is not there, right? So not available, only one row is there. You can insert some more data and apply these filters, right? So its name equals to this, and status equals to available, right? So available. If you send this, there is no data will be coming back. It's an empty array because nothing available. The stack is out of stack. If you send not available, you get one record, right? One record. Let's remove this LOB. Okay. So let's do a filter like price 10,000. Samsung mobiles 10,000 available products you would like to see, right? Available. So all these three filters will be applied. You will see the multiple, I think only one. Okay, so like this we can implement filters, and it's going to be one method, right? It's going to be one method which takes care about all the multiple combinations, right? So if you send the param filter, it will apply. If you don't send the filter, it won't apply. It won't apply. Okay, but it looks ugly, right? Request param, request param, request param, request param. What is this? Child code, right? Child is kind of code we are writing. Let's remove this. Now let's go to this and add one more package called DTO, not model, right? DTO, data transfer object, and get all mobiles request, right? Put all those filters in one parameter, one Pojo class, right? Yes. So you just say string name. If the parameter is sending, then the value will be populated. If it is not sending, then the value will be populated with the default value null. Okay. So if it is coming, it will be populated. If it is not coming, won't be populated. So no setters, getters, it's just simple data. There we go. Just to control shift O. Instead of taking it, instead of doing so many request param, it's better to take this request as input request, right? So now this looks much better, right? So we group the parameters into one POJO and send this request itself to the service, right? So let's do the code change in the service. No. Let's not create a new method, right? So let's change the existing method, right? So it's going to be get all mobile requests and requests. What we will do, we will just check like this, right? So request dot get status is not null, then convert that into enum. If it is null, then we send null to database, right? The same concept applicable for LOB also. Get LOB is null, don't convert. If it is not null, then convert into enum. Okay, so for name and price, just take it from request directly and send it. Okay, so instead of doing so many request mapping, okay, let's put all those things into one POJO, right? Spring has this kind of support. If the request parameter is coming, this value will be populated. If request parameter is not coming, then that value will be populated with default value. So the default value is right? So the default value for all class types is null. So null will be populated. So now let's test all these scenarios for one more time. So now the code looks good, right? No more request param. So that is not a good way of writing things, right? So let's do like this. Let's check whether our functionality will work as expected or not. Let's go to keep on doing the changes. This is keep on rolling the logs. Okay, fine. Now let's go to this. If I don't send any parameter, then I should get all the fields. There we go. We got 12 results. The same method we are calling get mobiles, right? We are calling get mobiles. So let's do one thing. Let's start the application in debug mode and see whether the things are working as expected or not. So let's start in the debug mode. There we go. I think it started. Let's send the request. What's up? Did I start? Okay, I started in debug mode, right? I think server is not yet started. Starting. Some more time. Yeah, so server is started. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now server is started. Let's go and send the request, right? Now the flow came to this. So let's put the mouse on it. So you see there are no fields are populated, right? So all are null, LOB null, name, price, because we didn't send any filter, right? So no filters are populated in the request also. Now let's release this so you will get all the data back. For example, if you send name as Samsung, we'll see whether that is going to be populated in the request POJO or not, right? So Samsung, let's send this request and see whether the name is going to be populated or not. Don't ask me again, right? You see that Samsung is populated, right? When you send that particular parameter, then it will be populated. If you don't send, it won't be populated. So when there is a method which takes multiple parameters, request parameters, and if they are optional, then try to do like this, right? Don't do too much request mapping. That is not a good practice. Let's do something like this, right? It's more readable. And release this. Now you get only the mobiles whose price is um, yeah, whose name is Samsung was, right? There are I think 4 mobiles: Samsung, and Samsung. right? So out of these four, two are available. Let's fetch the available Samsung mobile. So status equals to available. So we didn't add the validation. So make sure you send the proper value, right? So available, you just send the request and you see that request is going to have two fields populated. So let's send the request, just put mouse on it. You see that, right? So name and status is available. So now we're gonna get two rows back, right? So now you're gonna get two rows back. 10,000, sorry, two mobiles, right? One is 10,000 and another one is 20,000. One is online store and another one is retail, right? Online and retail store. If you would like to get all online mobiles, right? All online mobiles, you just change it. Or if you would like to apply one more filter, where the price is 10,000, right? Price is 10,000 by matching for, I mean, matching these filters, only one row you will get back, right? Only one row. Price is 10,000. You see the three parameters are going to be populated, right? Price is 10,000, name is this, and status is available. So if you insert more data, it's good actually, right? So let's insert one more row, right? So with the same price, um, with one more seller, right? So let's go and change this to Samsung. So with the 10,000 price, we are getting only one row, right? So let's insert one more row. Samsung price is 10,000, available, and available online only. It's available. Let's insert one more row with the retail, right? So let's insert one more row. Yes, created. Now let's send this filter request. Samsung available 10,000. Now there should be two rows, right? Samsung 10,000 available. One is online, one is in retail. So just now we inserted retail. So you should get two rows. Yes. So this breakpoint. You see Samsung price is 10,000. Status is available. Last time we got only one row. This time you should get two rows, right? Two rows. Yes. Just now we inserted one more row. So we have online, we have retail. So you would like to get online, only online, then apply one more filter. LOB equals to online, right? LOB equals to online. Now, like matching all these filters, there is only one mobile, right? So only one mobile. So you just send the request, right? So yeah, you see now LOB also will be populated. Now LOB also will be populated. Right? Available price, Samsung and online, right? There we go. You get only one by matching for all the filters. Okay, so this is how we implement filtering concept using data JPA, and here we are using what? JPQL, right? JPQL with
So,
named parameters. Let's change these to placeholders. I think it's a question mark one or one question mark. Yesterday we saw, right? Do you remember
question
that?
mark one.
One question mark, right? Okay, let's put all the placeholders. Yeah, I know it's like somewhat you are able to understand, somewhat you are not able to understand. If you do more like practice, then you will get better idea. Okay, three. Okay, yes. So there we go. Let's save this. This is with placeholders. I'm just doubt about it, whether it's a question one question mark. Let's try anyway, right? If is there any query problem, we will get exception while starting our application itself. Yeah, there is some query syntactical problem, right? So JDBC style parameters are not supported in JPA queries. There we go. Uh, so let's check this out in the Google. Why in the documentation they said it's one question mark? Why it is not supported? SQL query. So we should use only named parameters. Why? Why like that? Okay, I think this is not going to work. I believe. So let's yeah, JDBC style parameters. We also got same exception. There is some documentation is available as a link. Let's go and see. At query, it's a question mark one, not one question mark, right? Yeah, question mark one. Yeah, so question mark one. Let's change it, right? Question mark two. We'll check this, check that out whether it will work or not. Question mark two. Question mark three. Question mark four. It's a question mark two. Question mark three. Question mark four. Right. There we go. So let's save this change and look at the console. If any exception, then we need to take care of that. If there are no exceptions, I think it's going good. No exceptions this time. So the problem was the how we configure. Yeah, it started good. There we go. So now let's go to this Postman and remove the filters and check that out. It should work, right? There we go. No filters, no data. Let's remove the breakpoint. Yes, working fine. Let's apply the filters. Apply two filters. Then we should get matching to name, status. What's up? Clear the console and just check status is available. The query is this. Okay. Mm, I think where is the repository? Name, price, status, LOB. Name, price, status, LOB. It's going to be the status. Okay, it's going to be LOB matching, price matching, name is matching. Let's do one filter and check just name. I think some problem with the enum, I believe. Let's check that out. It's working fine. Let's check with the price. Price equals to 10,000. Good. Samsung 10,000 it's coming. I think we should change it to string when we are working with placeholders. So status or else LOB, right, it's a small case, LOB equals to online. So I think that has to be changed to string, I believe. There we go. So whenever we are using placeholders, okay, so enum types are not working. It's supposed to be string.
Sunil, I think the third placeholder is not LOB, right? That is status.
Pardon?
No. Here you have four placeholders. You are passing three only. The three is status, but you are passing LOB.
No, this is third and this is third. It looks like that.
How it will match exactly?
So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the indexes. So don't compare with your the request parameters. Okay. So here is the indexes. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, can you please pass four values now in the query parameter?
Okay. That is not the problem. Okay. Problem,
Okay.
Okay, so let's change this to string. You see, this is going to work now, right? So when this is a string, what should we do? We should change in our service code, right? So let's continue. Let's go ahead and pass the string. This should work. Hope so. But anyway, let's use named parameters. That is good. Okay. Let's do the changes. Oh, wait for a second. Okay, started. Now let's go and test it. It should work. There we go. Okay, so now let's send LOB as a third parameter. Still it works. Okay, not the problem with the, so LOB online, what's up? Oh, yeah. I told right we should check the null condition. This is null, so we got null pointer exception, right? So when the status is not passed, you're returning null, so that's why this error came. So what should we do? We should take status, or else whenever you are using placeholders, let's directly pass the request parameters, right? But anyway, this is not good code. Let's not use placeholders. Better to use named parameters, right? Status, whatever the value we are sending, that is a string type, we will send it. If it is coming, we'll send as it is. If it is not coming, we will don't send it, right? So it's going to be LOB. There we go. Let's save this. Compilation error. Add.
Sunil,
Hmm.
here this request or get status will be available, right? But in database, it is something like 0, 1. So we have to convert that and only save it, right?
No, no.
First, we have to take the enum value of it.
No, not at all. Okay, you just send the string. The JPA will take care about that conversion. You no need to do. Okay,
Oh,
you send this, it will work. Okay, that exception because null came, right? So that's why status equals to available. So you will get, right? So now we are sending LOB first, status next, but still it works, right? Still it works. Okay, and if you send status available not online, you get two rows. Okay, yeah. So whenever you are using placeholders, you need to send string. Okay, so whenever you are using that one, right? So let's have separate methods, right? So let's go back and put the placeholders. If it is placeholder, then it's supposed to be enum. There we go. If it is a named parameter, then it's supposed to be enum. If it is placeholders, then it's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be string. So here it is string, here it is status, here it is string, here it is LOB. So you should take the decision which method you are calling, and you should take care about the processing. If you call placeholders, then you should send the strings. If you call named parameter, then you should pass enums. Okay. Yes. So be very careful with this. Okay, be very careful with this. If you use named parameters, then send enum types, date types properly. If you use placeholders, then you must send string type, right? So that is what is the difference. So okay, so be very careful with this. Okay, so whenever you are using JPA model, it can be a named parameter or placeholders. You no need to worry the 0, 1s and all. Okay, so JPA will take care about that conversion. Only you have to take care about enum and string if it is JPA, right? So JPQL. So these two are JPQL models, right? So this is JPQL. So there are so many options are there. JPQL with placeholders. It's up to you what you want to choose, right? So this is first one is named parameters, right? Second one is a placeholder. So named parameters. So you should be very careful. Okay. Yes. So with this, two scenarios we started. One with the placeholders, and another one with the named parameter. Let's try to send the raw native query, right? Native query. So whenever you are directly sending the native query, if it is a native query, right? So it's going to be, if it is native query, then you have to take care about the 0, 1s, right? So how can I make this as native query? So to make this as native query, what should you do? You should pass one more attribute, okay, called native query equals to true. Native query equals to true. So this is what is our native query, right? So raw SQL query. By that time, you must be very, very careful. The input types are int, not, right? Not string, not enum type, because we are going to execute this is what is the raw SQL query, right? So in the database, the data is storing in terms of integers, not a string or not enum types. So if it is a native query, it's your responsibility to take care about SQL data types also, right? Database SQL data types. So this is with native SQL query, right? So native SQL query, but still this works like how the above two are working, right? So this is native query, native query. So you can write named parameter, you can write placeholders, you can write native query. So based
Sunil,
on the type you are
just
setting, data types you should take care. What is Anshuman? Yeah.
no, just one question. In case of name parameter, right? We are passing it as a this status like a boolean thing, right? And in placeholder, we are passing string. Why? Only we are putting a difference here.
But the difference is you need to take care about the data types. So it is a native raw query. For example, that day we selected, right? Yesterday, I think if it is there, it was looking good. Okay. So yeah, it was not saved. So it is same thing. It no
No,
need
no.
to be.
Native query, I understood. I am telling about there are two things: name parameter and placeholder. So in case of placeholder, we are passing status and lob as a string. But in case of name parameter, we are passing it as a status as a status and lob as lob. So why only with last two parameters we are putting a difference?
I told, right, placeholders won't support enum types. It's your responsibility to convert them into string.
Okay, okay. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's your responsibility. So that's what I told. Be very careful choosing the methodology what you want to implement. If it is named, then you get benefit. You know, named are better. So that's why when you open any example, most of the things are they use named parameters. They don't say why they are using named parameters. Okay, so because if it is not named parameter, then you should, if it is a placeholder methodology, then you must take care about converting the enums into string. You go and check any tutorial, they use simply query with the named parameters. They don't say why they are using named parameters. Because if you, whenever you are using placeholders, so there are some type conversions you must take care, especially the enum types, right?
Oh, yeah, got it.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
And native query, it is like a raw SQL query we are executing. So whatever the data types are there in the database, right? So 0, 1, so you must pass numbers. You must pass one, right? Some numbers. So to call this method from some service, what should we do? Return, okay. So mobile repository, find all, name, price, no problem because those are strings. But when it is coming to enum, so what should we do? You have to create the enum type. You have to create the enum type, and what we must do? You should generate an integer from this enum if this is not equals to null. If status number, if the enum status is not equals to null, then you should get enum status dot get value. Okay. So if it is null, then send null as it is, right? So let's send null as it is. So let's do the same change for LOB also, LOB number. If enum LOB is not null, if the filter is applied, then take enum dot get value, right? Enum dot get value, and if it is null, then send as null. So let's send these integers. Yeah, and one more thing, in our repository also, those are not int, those are integer, right? So those are integer. So let's go ahead and change to integer. So don't use any int long, right? So let's not use any primitives, right? So let's use wrappers. Okay, let's not use any primitives. Let's use wrappers, because if I send int, the default value is 0. So 0 has some meaningful value. So 0 means you get this, right? 0 filter matching data. So when you have not selected that filter, that has to go as 0, right? So now let's go and test the same thing with the native query. Now we are calling native query, find all with the native query, right? So this is native query model. So first one is a placeholder. So placeholder, I know you are getting confused slowly. slowly, slowly the confusion cloud is occupying your brain. Yeah, that's fine. You have to practice. Such a beautiful concept it is. So inward placeholders. Okay. The last one is native. I'm showing all, I'm showing all methodologies. That's why you're getting confused. If I just show only named parameters, there won't be any confusion for you. It's a straightforward. Okay, we are getting data, we are applying filter. But right, so that is not the case. We would like to see all the remaining models also. So more solutions, then you will get confused what to pick and what is the right and what is things needs to be applied. Right, when you go for some shop, like you go for some pizza corner, then you might think, right, you look at the menu and see, oh, what pizza we should order, right? So it's a cheesy or some crispy or non-veg, veg, because there are options are there, then you are thinking. If there is no option, like only one model pizza is available, veg cheese, then option obvious, there is no option, then you like biryani, right? So it's a biryani means biryani, veg or non-veg, that's it, chicken or mutton, that's it, right? It's a simple, like you will take the decision in fraction of seconds. But when you go to pizza center, you spend some time. But anyway, there is some exception we will look at. No property find or found type mobile. Okay, native query. So let's change the query name. Find all. Find all. So filter mobiles, right? Filter mobiles by using native query. So let's call this method. Just save this, copy this, go and use that. It's better actually. We would have changed this earlier. Filter by named placeholder, filter mobiles by named placeholder, filter named parameters, and filter mobiles by placeholders, like that we would have changed already. So that's fine. We are changing now. Parameters, right? Okay. Still there is some exception. No property. Why property required? Why the native query is misfiring here? Failure to create query, fine, integer, type, mobile. Okay. Oh, got it. Can somebody guess why that exception is coming? Any idea? Any guess? People are dropping. Okay, then we'll do one thing. We will check this issue tomorrow. Okay. So why this issue is coming? We will check this tomorrow because we are already 10 o'clock, right? Fine. So named query is not working. There was some problem. I know what is the problem. I thought you to guess it, but it's fine. Okay. So we will check this issue tomorrow. Okay. So any confusion? What is the problem? Why people are so silent? Hari, Abhi, Anshu, Chintesh.
Trying to follow.
No. They all look similar, but there are differences. That is why
Yeah.
taking little bit time to understand which one is having what thing, right? So that's why
It's like some kind of thriller movie. It's not like comedy movie use it.
Yeah, suspense.
You need to use sometimes your brain. What is going to happen in the next scene? Yes, it's like comedy means you relax, you enjoy. This is like this training is not like comedy movie, right? It's thriller movie. So you have a lot of suspense and lot of um, enthusiasm, right? So like more suspense. You have to use your brain a lot. Yeah,
Sunil,
yeah.
how the query parameters are matched with that object getala request parameters?
What is that? Sorry, I didn't get your question. Can you speak a little louder?
1 second. Query parameters, right? We are passing in the request.
Okay, so this one. Okay, confirm class.
How?
Yeah.
No, yeah. Here
Ah,
you are setting into one object, right? Get all mobile request.
yes.
The URL you are passing some variables.
Ah, it's
How
the
that will match?
same parameter, then it will be populated. So while you're sending this data, if you send any request parameter name, that value will be populated here. So it's automatic binding. It's auto binding.
Based on what? That is what. Even for uh, question marks also it's matching, right? Exact string. How it is matching?
What question mark I didn't get?
The
This one?
second type of.
Yeah, price, right? It is price. So price is matching. Price is populated. So third one is status. Status is matching. Status is populated. If you send some wrong value, status, for example, if you send status, right, states or something like that, then it won't populate. So it is a query string. The way how we declare the query string, right? So it starts with the question mark, and it's separated with AND operators, right? Each and every query string will be separated with AND operator, and they are key value pairs. So this is the key and this is the value. So key is going to be mapping. So here how they are populating. So when the key is matching, the value will be automatically populated. So the name will be populated for name. So the value price is going to be populated for price. Status is going to be populated for status. LOB is going to be populated for LOB. So if you send some wrong value, instead of status, if you send states, then status won't be populated. It will be more simple. It's auto binding.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I thought you will identify this. Will this query execute if I run as it is? Where is the star? Star is missing. That is what is the problem. If I put star, it will work. Right? It's very simple. Native query SQL. You do right select star from. Where is the select M from? It won't work.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah,
this
it's not
one, just
automatic.
you select M from mobile, you get exception, query exception, right? So you just see that there, it throws error. Yeah. What is that M? Can't understand. Just put star. The same problem here. So it is a syntax problem. If I just do the change and start application, it should work now. Okay. So taking 10,000 feet high, then you're missing the ground, right? So fully into JPA now. You guys are right.
Not the JPA also fully.
The filter for mobiles. So still there is some problem. Okay, that I will check why it is coming. But the basic thing is uh, the the select star itself was missing. That's why we got an error. That's fine. We will try to run the query, dry SQL query, and we will use that query here. Okay.
So might we need to take some selective column. Star will give everything. Are we?
No. I will check that and let you know tomorrow.
Okay, Sunil.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Try to implement the same filter in our microservice. I don't know whether you really write at least one microservice or not. So try to do it at least now. Okay, one mobile service with all filters. Most probably this is what it's going to be there in the real time. Nothing less. Like little more in your service classes, they do some business logic implementation. But more or less, like at least like 40 to 50% things like this is what is real time, except the business logic. The business logic nobody can teach. It's up to it's project to project, company to company. So that's you have to write it. So Java, that's going to be pure Java. You have to write it. Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Sunil, you have written
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
when you
So
go to
couple of
the
things.